Clay Patton on the Rural Radio Network. Winter Wheat Tour 2023 rolls on. Stop number 1 in Colby, Kansas, and have the opportunity now to talk with Jeanie Falk Jones, area agronomist with K-State. First, I want to talk about the physiology of the wheat plant itself. Several of those, once we got to Norton County and south, plant height seemed to be a serious issue. 6, 7 inches tall, wanting to shoot ahead already on it. What does that do from a plant physiology standpoint, and will it get any taller? Will it be harvestable?
You know, I think that's a huge concern of a lot of folks across the area. You know, we did catch some rains this last week in portions of the area, and so that is really going to help some of this wheat hold on that was looking pretty tough 2 weeks ago or a week ago. And so the plant height is a huge question because it's been under so much stress. And because of that, that's why we have such short plant heights. And so when heads are beginning to extend, that plant is really focused on reproductive mode. We are focused on getting through heading, flowering, and putting kernels on. So it's not putting many resources into the rest of the plant. So because of that, we're not going to have a lot more plant height that really does show up. Now we're going to have that stem that the head sits on that's going to extend. It's going to help put some height on some of these plants, but in all reality, we're going to have very short wheat that we're going to try to harvest this year. And that's going to be a challenge for some of this. We also have some fairly thin fields. And so with this rain, we're also going to have a flush of weeds that come up with it. And so we're going to be battling weeds at the same time as we're trying to harvest short wheat. So it could be a pretty challenging harvest.
For the farmers, though, that looked at, the insurance adjuster said zero it out or whatever reason they terminate this crop, what are guys thinking?
I think I'm hearing a little bit of everything. One, we want to keep cover on fields. And so no matter what the decision is on a lot of this, it is chemical termination. So we're spraying with a herbicide and leaving whatever residue we have out there on the fields. Some are making a move towards going to grain sorghum. Concern with that is we don't have a ton of profile moisture to really help support that, even though across the area we had between 1/2 inch and probably 3.5 inches of rain. That is not building a lot of profile moisture, and our profile moisture is very depleted. And so we can make that move to go to grain sorghum, but we need to really make sure that we understand that we need timely rains to really help that along. The other concern with going to grain sorghum is what we would have sprayed on our wheat crop. So everybody needs to check their herbicide history before they make that decision, so we know that we are good to go on the herbicide side of things. So, you know, it's a challenge when we're terminating wheat because wheat's a very drought tolerant crop. And when we don't have enough moisture to grow wheat, it really makes you wonder if we have moisture to do anything else with it too. And so, you know, we're hoping that Mother Nature helps us out here and we have timely rains this summer. If we move to that summer crop, which I think some folks are going to do, but in general, I think we're just trying to keep cover on. I don't think that means we're planting a lot of cover crops necessarily, but whatever residue we have from the wheat, we're going to try to keep out there to kind of help suppress any of those evaporative losses.
A lot of things for farmers to keep in mind here in another tough year. Hopefully a little bit of rain's falling now. Hopefully we're just priming the pump to keep that moving forward. Keep praying for that rain. That's what we talk about. Well, Jeanie, thank you so much for your time. Kind of run us through the latest conditions here in Northwest Kansas. Before I let you go, though, final closing thoughts for us. Important information I've overlooked.
I think we've covered a lot of what we're seeing out here. We're just really trying to hold on to harvest and get there with some of this wheat. There's not a lot of disease pressure, not a lot of insect pressure out there. And so we are just hoping for rains to get us through to harvest. And hopefully we can drop the headers low enough to get this wheat picked up out in the field.
That's Jeanie Falk Jones, area agronomist with K-State Extension based in Northwest Kansas. And we're listening to the Winter Wheat Tour on the Rural Radio Network.